Embryonic period, which extend from the embryonic period which extend from third to eighth week of development. Embryonic period are period of organogenesis, which mean the differentiation of the every organ start during this period. So name is given organogenesis, and this period is very susceptible to the drugs and other teratogens. So no drug should be given during this period, or the woman should not be exposed to the any teratogenic effect or any teratogenic agent. So it is very important that all the organs that start developing from third to eighth week of development, when each of the three germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, give rise to specific tissues and organs. The three layers. So whole embryo develop from three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, which give rise to specific tissue and organs. Derivatives number one: the structure derived from the ectoderm germ layer. We'll talk about one by one. That is the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Derivative of the ectoderm germ layer. In third week, ectoderm has the shape of oval disc, oval shaped disc, broader in front than in caudal region. Like this, that is shown. This is the ectodermal disc, this whole one, this one, right from here, all this. It is oval shape. This anterior end is broader, this one, and the posterior end is bit narrow. Now in the ectoderm, which is the basically epiblast, in which we divide into two halves. The caudal half, this one, this is the caudal half, extend from here up to here, and second is the cranial half, this one, divide into two from here. Caudal half, this cranial half, this one is the caudal half. In caudal half, we have already done that primitive streak appear, and here is the primitive node. This is the primitive streak, and its fate, that is it gives rise the new layer, which is the mesoderm. In the cranial half, the ectoderm cells, they migrate toward the midline from this side to the midline, and a slipper shape structure, which is the neural tube or neural plate, which is formed. This one is the neural plate, this below whole is the neural plate, which is the thickened ectoderm actually, and this form the neural plate that start differentiating. This rest is this one is the name is given surface ectoderm, and this thickened ectoderm, that name is given neural plate. This plate is formed below. You know that below the ectoderm there is a notochord, which is derived from this primitive node onward, and precaudal plate below that, between the ecto and endo. Underneath this plate is the precaudal plate and the notochord, which induce the development of this plate, act as a stimulus. If notochord is not formed, then our precaudal plate is not formed, the neural plate is not formed. Now this is differentiated neural plate. Similarly, here is shown that the neural plate in the midline start invaginating, just like that is the invaginate, with raised margin on each side. This one is the raised margin on each side, and center is the groove which is formed, and name is given neural groove. The this margins of the neural plate, that is name is given neural folds. Notochord and the precaudal mesoderm induces the overlying ectoderm to thicken and form the neural plate. Cells of the plate make up the neuroectoderm. So ectoderm now in caudal half we have said that form the primitive node and primitive streak, whereas the cranial half, this here in this area, it is near the neural plate is formed. Name is given neuroectoderm because from here the nervous system develops. Rest this one, this part and this part, his name is given surface ectoderm, which is not changed into neuroectoderm and will form the epidermis. Here is shown the primitive streak, primitive node, and this wider anterior part of the ectoderm and narrow posterior part of the ectoderm. And in caudal half, this is the primitive streak. Cranial will, we have shown that this is the neural plate is formed. Next process is the neurulation. Neurulation definition is the process involved in formation of the neural plate and neural folds to form the neural tube called neurulation. That is the formation of the neural plate and neural float. This process is known as neurulation. Neurulation is completed at the end of 4th week. One of the MCQ also, 5th week, 6th week, 8th week, that is asked. Notochord induces the overlying embryonic ectoderm to become thickened, as shown already, and form an elongated neural plate. I told you that this ectoderm divisible into neural plate and surface ectoderm. This plate give rise to the central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, and retina of the eye. Retina represent the nervous tissue. The neural plate now elongates, broadens, and extends cranially up to the oropharyngeal membrane. On 18th day, neural plate invaginate along its central axis to form longitudinal median neural groove, which has neural folds or margins on each side. Neural folds begin to move together, fuse with each other, and converting the neural plate into neural tube. As shown, this is a very good picture that shown. This was from here up to here. This one, from this to this area, this whole is the neural plate. It start invaginating. This is the invagination. Here is the invaginating downward and form the neural groove. This one is the this is the neural groove. On the margins, what you see is the intermediate cells, which are changed from epithelial to mesenchyme transition, bit differ from the, this one is the surface ectoderm, rest of the ectoderm. Here is also shown, this is the surface ectoderm. This whole below is the surface ectoderm, this one. And this is the neural plate. It extends rather posteriorly around the primitive streak also, which disappear later on. And this whole is the neural plate, which showing the in the center neural groove. So this is the surface ectoderm, which will change into later on epidermis. Here is another variety of cell which is transition cells between epithelium to mesenchyme. Name is given. The neural crest are also form the neural folds. These are the two neural folds or margins of the neural tube. Center cell is this one is the thickened ectoderm simply, and it start invaginating. It further invaginate in this picture that further deepen. Whereas this transition cells which are around the margins forming the neural fold, they are coming near to each other. They further become closer to each other, and this group of cells, this one, here they start separating out from the surface ectoderm. These both sides they are separated out. Ultimately, and this is the neural tube which is further invaginating. Ultimately, these two neural fold cells, which are the name is given the neural crest cells. They are crescent shape. You can see that is a crescent shape. So on each side of the neural tube, and that is the name is given neural crest cells. They have different transition cells, whereas this whole is completed, neural tube is whole is completed, and surface ectoderm revives, that reinstate itself or complete. Here this gap is completed by the proliferation from the surrounding this new surface ectoderm cell. They fill this gap. Here you can see that this is the fill, and it has been separated. Notochord from below from the endoderm that move up and settle over here. Now these neural crest cells, they combine with each other like this, in this way, and then they are separated out from each other into two groups. Neural tube will give the brain and spinal cord, where the neurocrest cells that develop into the various accessory things of the nervous system like the ganglia and peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Neural tube soon separates from surface ectoderm as the neural folds meet. Neural crest cells epithelial to mesenchyme transition migrate away as neural folds meet and free edges of the surface ectoderm fuse, so this layer become continuous over the neural tube. Later on the surface ectoderm differentiate into epidermis. Surface ectoderm that change into rest of the ectoderm changed away. Neurulation is completed at 4th week. Neural tube fusion begin in the cervical region, that is start closing first in the cervical region. You can see over here this is the cervical region or neck region of the where the later on neck is formed. The fusion start, and say this is the cranial end, this is the caudal end. So this fusion start from cranial to caudal. First that fusion occur in the cervical region. What you see in the upper part, neural tube is open. In the lower part, neural tube hole is open. This anterior opening name is given anterior neuropore, whereas the posterior opening name is given posterior neuropore. Here the openings are a bit wider, but in this picture they become more smaller because more and more fusion has occurred. This whole neural tube has been fused. This was the cervical region, neck region, then thoracic region, abdominal region, lumbosacral region. This whole above downward fusion has occurred in the neural tube at this point, but it is still opening in the upper end and in the lower end. The lower end, this name is given posterior neuropores, whereas the interior end that is the name is given, anterior neuropores, by which the neural tube is communicated with the amniotic sac, and if they fail to close neuropores, that create the congenital anomalies, that like this, that anterior neuropore if fail to close anencephaly, and if posterior neuropores fail to close lead to spina bifida. So closure proceed cranially and caudally. Cranial cord. As a result, neural tube is formed. The cephalic and caudal ends of the neural tube communicate with the amniotic cavity by the way of anterior neuropores or anterior opening of the neural tube and posterior neuropore or caudal neuropores, which is the posterior end of the um, neural tube. Cranial neuropore close on 25th day. A very important MCQ which is sometimes asked, that when the anterior or cranial neuropore close, different days are given, 25th day, 20th day, or say 30th day. So you have to be. Or second, which can be asked, that 20 Sumite stage. 20 Sumite stage is the same 25th day. And posterior neuropores close at 28th day. That is 3 days after the cranial neuropores. There are difference of 3 days. Cephalic part of the neural tube become broader to form the brain vesicles, and caudal part of the neural tube develop into spinal cord. Here is a simple picture which is shown. This alteration occur which is in the neural tube. When it is closed, here it closed down, and this is also closed in the lower, that is the posterior neuropores. Now cells of the neural tube, they start proliferating. This one is the proliferating and become wider. Similarly, now here is the area of retarded growth. Less growth occur. The size of the neural tube remain the, you can say, same, not extend or not expand. Then again next expansion that take place, it is the second expansion. Then again is the area of retarded growth under the genetic gene control. Then is the again the area of rapid proliferation and become wider. Then this whole is the area of the retarded growth as compared to the other. So three vesicles. This is the first vesicle, this is the second vesicle, this is the third, and a long posterior narrow part. Anterior vesicle, which is larger, develop into forebrain vesicle, and here is the midbrain vesicle, second, and third is the hindbrain vesicle, and the rest of the long narrow part is the spinal cord. Neural crest cells, which we told that this is the margin, the neural folds cells, which are transition cells, fuse to form the neural tube. Some neuroectodermal cells lying along the inner margin of each neural folds lose their attachment to neighboring cells. As the neural tube separates from the surface ectoderm, neural crest cell form a flattened irregular mass resemble the crest that are already shown in the diagram. So name given neural crest between the neural tube and surface ectoderm. Neural crest cells separate into right and left parts that shift to dorsolateral aspect of the neural tube. Neural crest cells give different derivatives, right from head and neck up to the other parts of the body. The number one is the connective tissue and bones of the face and skull. Very important university question which is asked, give the derivatives of the neural crest cell, how they are formed. This whole is the full question. Connective tissue and bones of the face and skull. Number 2, cranial nerve ganglia. Cranial nerve ganglia. Cranial nerve ganglia, they are the different cranial nerves which have a ganglia like trigeminal, fifth cranial nerve, seventh cranial nerve has a ganglia. Similarly, ninth and 10th cranial nerve that has ganglia. Four cranial nerve, they have sensory ganglia. So out of 12 cranial nerves, so they are derived from neurocrest. C cells of the thyroid gland. So if any of this structure is absent, that means neurocrest cell failed to approach to this organ, failed to invaginate. So C cells of thyroid, right from the neurocrest cells. Conotruncal septum in the heart. You will see that the there is a septum which separates the truncus arteriosus, which separate or divide the truncus arteriosus into pulmonary trunk and the aorta. So name is given conotruncal septum in the heart, which is dependent on the migration of the neurocrest cells, this area. Odontoblast in the teeth, which is also neurocrestal derivative. Dermis in the face and neck, dependent on the neurocrest cell migration. Spinal nerves, which have the dorsal root ganglia, also neurocrest. Sympathetic ganglia and pre-aortic ganglia, like cilia ganglia, mesenteric ganglia, that is the neurocrest cell. Parasympathetic ganglia of the gastrointestinal tract, that is also new. The adrenal gland has two components. Outer is the cortex and the inner is the medulla. Adrenal medulla is basically the sympathetic ganglia itself. So supplied by the preganglionic fiber. So adrenal medulla is whole sympathetic ganglia itself, which is neurocrest cell. Schwann cell covering of the nerve sheath, that is the derived from the neurocrest cell. Glial cells, neuroglia, that is neurocrest cell. Meninges of the, that is the forebrain, and melanocytes, which give the color to the skin and hairs, that is neurocrest cell origin. Smooth muscle cells to the blood vessels of the face and forebrain. This is the list of the neurocrest cells. Ectoderm give rise to that organs which make contact with the outside the world. Protective organ, what we should say, give the message of protection. Whenever you are thinking about, because the together many times asked, that is the derivative of ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, and one get confused with that. Ectoderm, you think that it is a protective organ. It is not a protective organ, or protective organ or not, or give the protection or message of protection. So that is the ectodermal region. Number one, the main protective organ which gives us the message and awareness, that is the central nervous system, by which sensory system, that is the giving the message of protection. Say any insect crawling on the back of trunk, give that message is conveyed, that insect is crawling. Similarly, the peripheral nervous system, like the nerves which are peripheral nervous system, then is the all the openings of the body, their sensory epithelium lining of the all the openings of the body. In openings we include the ear, external ear, lined with skin and have the hairs in it. The initial part of the nose, in which the hairs are present, anything try to enter the nose give the message. Or eyelashes, which are on the lids, and eye is covered with conjunctiva, which is the sensory epithelium. Similarly, the initial part of the Other openings are initial part of the urethra that is lined with ectoderm, the lower part of the rectum which is having the hairs and give the message of protection, and the lower part of vagina. These are the openings of the body: ear, nose, eye. These are opening in the head and neck, and the urethra, anal canal, and vagina. Epidermis including hair and nails. Epidermis, how it protect, gives the message because of presence of hairs and nails. Nails are also protective against any enemy. The subcutaneous glands. Subcutaneous glands, then is the mammary glands, then the pituitary glands, and enamel of the teeth. Neural tube defects, that is the usually presented in the neural tube defects during its folding and closure of the anterior and posterior neuropore. It occurs when the neural tube fails to close. If neural tube fails to close in the cranial region, that is the cranial neuropore, the most of the brain fails to form and defect is called anencephaly. If closure fails anywhere from cervical region down or caudally, then defect is called spina bifida. The most common site is the lumbosacral region. Spina bifida consists of splitting of the vertebral arches. They fail to fuse vertebral arches. Type of the spina bifida. These are the types of the spina bifida. Spina bifida occulta, hidden. Occulta mean hidden. Number 2, spina bifida cystica. Cyst-like or fluid is present in it. Occulta mean the spina bifida occulta is defect in vertebral arches. That is the laminae, vertebral laminae, they fail to fuse. Defect is covered by skin because depression will be there if their vertebral arches they fail to fuse. So that is covered by skin and not involving underlying neural tube. Neural tube is not involved. Defect usually occur in sacral region. It is marked by a patch of hair overlying affected region as shown over here. This is a patch of hair which is the grown on the spina bifida occulta and give the message that this is a soft point, and on depression you can feel this depression is there. Depression can be feel, and just it is a protection. The hairs grow over here. Second variety is spina bifida cystica, which means neural tissue and meninges protrude through the defect. Meninges with CSF, so give a cyst-like appearance through a defect in the vertebral arches and skin to form a cyst-like sac having a fluid, mostly in lumbosacral region, and result in neurological deficit. That is the lower limb inability occur to move. Lower limb, that is inability to move the lower limb, which usually occur if the neurological deficit occur. If meninges protrude only, in many times that only meninges protrude only. In occulta, nothing is protruding, only defect. But if the meninges protrude, only the defect is the meningocele, which has a fluid in it, as shown over here. This is the protruding out. Whereas in the myelomeningocele, both meninges and neural tissue protrude out. Myelo mean nervous tissue, meninges both. So nervous tissue and meninges both are protrude out. The term used is the myelomeningocele. Treatment is that is the operated, and the nervous system, if it is involved, then it affect on the lower limb. Derivative of the mesodermal germ layer. Derivative of the mesoderm germ layer. Intraembryonic mesoderm is differentiated into three components. We have already done this. This one is the paraxial mesoderm, because this is also paraxial. In between is the neural tube. This one is the notochord. The axis term used for notochord, and this mesoderm, which is all around this notochord, name is given paraxial, around the axis. Second component is the intermediate mesoderm, which develop into urogenital organ. Third one is this lateral plate, this one, and this one, lateral plate, which form the body wall, and it divisible into two components. A part of the lateral plate surrounding this one amniotic sac, this hole here, this is the somatic mesoderm, and whereas the part of the mesoderm, lateral plate, which is surrounding the yolk sac and come over here, that is the splanchnic mesoderm. So mesoderm, three derivatives: paraxial, intermediate, and lateral plate, this one. Paraxial mesoderm. In third week, paraxial mesoderm that began to organize into segments. It divided into small blocks. Now these segments known as somatomeres. They first appear, these are known as somatomere. First appear in the cephalic region of embryo, and their formation proceed cephalocaudally, above downward. Now two terms are used over here. One is the somatomere, other is the somite. In the at the level of midbrain vesicle, say over here, this one is the forebrain vesicle. I have already shown in the neural tube derivatives. That is the forebrain vesicle, midbrain and hindbrain vesicle. Now this is the midbrain vesicle, this one. The somatomere, difference between the somatomere and somite is somatomere develop into muscle only, whereas the somite has three components that develop into hard bony tissue, ligaments, cartilage, that is the sclerotome. Then myotome part of the somite develop into muscle, and dermatome part of the somite develop into dermis. Somite has three components. I repeat it again. One is the sclerotome. Sclero mean hard tissue like bone and ligaments. Second, myotome, myo mean muscle, muscular component of that part, and the dermis. Whereas in somatomere only muscle develop, myotome part. So term use somatomeres, which has only muscle, develop into muscles. Now the 7 somatomeres, they are present around the brain vesicle. Start from the midbrain up to the hindbrain vesicle. These are 7 somatomeres. This one. They will develop only into muscle. Here. The somatomere 1 and 2 that develop into eye muscles. Similarly, the next somatomere that will develop into the muscles of mastication. Next is the muscle which is the stylopharyngeus, and the next two are develop into muscles of pharynx and larynx. So no bony component, no dermis, only muscle will form. They start from the midbrain vesicle because the first motor nerve which arises from the midbrain is the third or oculomotor. The first two nerves are not motor to supply the muscle, olfactory and optic. Third nerve is start, so somatomere start from the midbrain. Third and fourth nerve which supply the eye muscles that start or originate from the midbrain vesicle. Midbrain. Next nerves they are from the hindbrain motor nerves like the fifth nerve, 6, 7 and 9 and 10 and 12 nerve which is the chain which form the which supply these muscles. So somatomere. Now from the occipital region, when you approach occipital region, which is the posterior aspect of the skull, there is the 5 occipital somites. They are somites which will have 3 components: sclerotome, dermatome and myotome. Occipital somites. Next is the cervical somites. Up to this, neck somite. They will develop into 3 components, that is the bone, muscle and dermis. Next is the thoracic somite. Similarly onward is the lumbar and sacral somites which are formed. The first appear in the cephalic region and embryo, and their formation proceeds cephalocaudally, above downward. Each somatomere consists of mesodermal cells arranged in concentric whorls, or that form the whorls are the circles around the center of the unit. Somatomere consists of myotome part only and develop into the muscles only. From occipital region, if you pass on caudally, somatomeres organize into somites. First pair of somites arise in the occipital region at 20th day. We can determine the age of the aborted fetus from here by counting the somites. In the very initial stage of the development, the first pair of somites arise in occipital region on 20th day. You can see over here that 20th day, the first that 1 to 4 somite that appear. New somites appear at the rate of 3 pairs per day. Per day, you can see that 21st day that becomes 7. 4 plus 3 becomes 7. 3 plus 3, 7 plus 3, that is the 10. 10 plus 3, 13. So this is the onward. At the end of 8th week, 35th day, 42 to 44 pairs are formed. That is the present. This is shown in the 30th day, which is the 35 pairs on each side. Now, time of the appearance, how many somites on which day, is one of the MCQ also. These are the 4 occipital somites, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar and 5 sacral, and 8 to 10 coccygeal pairs. They are meant for to form the tail but later on regress. First occipital out of the 4, this 4, first occipital or last 5 to 7, 5 to 7 coccygeal somite disappear. The remaining somites form the vertebral column. Here is shown this neural tube, and this is the neural fold which will form the neural crest cells. The surrounding it is the paraxial mesoderm, this one. Now it form a that is circle of the cells around a center donut shape what we say, that adopt, and it directly change into muscle in somatomere, but in somites this is divisible as this line is taken, this one line, this oblique line, that we divide into paroxysmal mesoderm or somite into according to this line, this one oblique line. This is the medial part and ventral part. So we divide into ventromedial part. This one. This one is the ventral, medial. This one is the ventral. So ventromedial part. And second part with reference to this oblique line is the dorsolateral part. That's the lateral, this is the dorsal. We divide into two. Now the ventromedial part of the somite round the neural tube that spread out, and they form this component, is name is given sclerotome. This one is shown that sclerotome, which develop into hard tissue sclero, into cartilage, bone and ligaments. The rest of the dorsomedial part, this one, dorsolateral part, it will change into two components. One component over here, other is here. There is two divisions of this. Name is given myotome. This is the myotome. In between cells, between these two, is the dermatome. Myotome part, this one, and over here, this one. So there are two parts of the myotome. One is the dorsomedial muscle cells or dorsomedial group. Other is the ventrolateral group, this one. This means, now another important point over here is the intermediate mesoderm next, which shift forward like this shift forward. When it intermediate mesoderm shift forward, lateral plate come in contact with paroxysmal as shown. Here is the not intermediate mesoderm is not shown because it shift forward, change into urogenital system. It come out of the line of the paroxysmal, intermediate and lateral. The intermediate when shift forward, the lateral plate come in contact with paroxysmal as is shown over here. This is the lateral plate which direct in contact with the paroxysmal. Between the lateral plate and paroxysmal over here, a barrier is present, a cells, name is given the lateral somatic barrier, frontier, lateral somatic frontier, that is the name given. Here is a barrier present. We separate the lateral plate from the paroxysmal mesoderm. Now the mesoderm, which is the dorsomedial part, this one is the ventrolateral part. Now the ventrolateral part, 50% of mesoderm that cross this barrier, which I told you over here, and that is the somatic frontier, that is the somatic barrier. Here is the barrier. 50% of the ventrolateral part, they migrate to the lateral plate and change into various muscles. Rest 50% which is left, ventrolateral, and whole of the dorsomedial, together they fuse with each other like this. Here they fuse. What does it composed of? That is the dorsomedial part and the 50% of the dorsolateral part together form myotome. This myotome, which is myotome, here is shown. They fuse with each other. The sclerotomal cell, that is the dermatome. These dermatomal cells, they come outside, mostly outer side of the this myotome, which is onward covered with amniotic layer. which provide the epidermis. This will form the dermis, and this will change into muscles. This will change into the cartilage, vertebrae, and the ligaments, sclerotomal tissue. Somites first appear on a ball of as a ball of mesodermal cells. These cells undergo epithelialization around a small lumen, as it is shown already. Ventral and medial walls of the somite shift their portion to the surrounding neural tube and notochord. These cells called sclerotome that differentiate into vertebrae and ribs. These cells at the dorsomedial and ventrolateral edges of somite form the muscles, which I told you that muscle in two components, muscular part dorsomedial and ventrolateral. The cells between these two groups form the dermatome. Some cells from the ventrolateral edge migrate into parietal layer or the lateral plate after crossing lateral somatic frontier, which is the barrier. Now, lateral plate mesoderm, that is the fused with the ventro, that is the ventrolateral. Ventrolateral mesoderm 50% plus lateral plate, parietal layer or lateral plate. That ventrolateral cells which cross the lateral somatic frontier fuse with parietal layer. Together name is given abaxial group. Abaxial group. What is abaxial? I repeat it again, that is the ventrolateral cells which migrate 50% into the lateral plate. So lateral plate plus 50% ventrolateral myotome cells, together name is given as the axial group, to develop into muscles of the anterior abdominal wall and limb musculature. This will we'll talk in detail about the development of muscular system, which is also included in first year syllabus. The remaining ventrolateral cells, 50% ventrolateral, and all of the dorsomedial cells is name given premaxial group, develop into muscles of the neck, abdominal, and upper limb muscles. Cells in the dermomyotome part form the dermo part that form the dermis of the skin of the back and muscles of the that is the skin of the back. Each that is myotome part will develop obviously into muscle of the back. The muscle part, muscle which are left is the dorsomedial part of the muscle and dermatome part. Together form the dermis of the skin of the back and muscles of the back. Each myotome and dermatome retain its innervation from the segment of the origin. Everyone retain its nerve supply. So each somite differentiate into what? Its own sclerotome, which change into tendon, cartilage, and bone. Myotome, segmental muscle compartment. Dermatome, dermis of the back, and each myotome and dermatome has its own segmental nerve compartment. Intermediate mesoderm, which separate from the paraxial and lateral plate, which connect paraxial and lateral plate primarily, but later on separate, differentiate into urogenital structure. In cervical or upper thoracic region, it forms nephrotome, a component of the kidney. More caudally, it forms the nephrogenic cord.